Creating organic fear. Fear is the most difficult feeling for an actor to recreate. This is because most of the telltale physical responses that indicate fear are involuntary to your system, such as pupils contracting, heart beating fast, adrenaline pumping into your system, skin blanching, body and mind exhibiting unusual levels of courage and strength. In order to make these physical reactions really happen in your body, you have to investigate what actually causes fear to happen. Fear is our body's way of protecting ourselves when we suspect that we might be or truly are in danger. Fear emanates from the need to stay alive. It's part of our innate survival instinct. Because fear motivates the parts of your body that control action, blood and adrenaline flowing faster and in greater amounts through your system, it creates faster movement, a quicker thought process, and physical prowess that we wouldn't ordinarily have. It's a common misconception that fear comes from a rush of information. It's actually one aspect of our lives that we think about when we're afraid that makes us want and need to survive. For example, if someone has a gun to your head, you might think about the fact that you are the only person around who can take care of an ailing parent. You have to survive to keep that parent from being left alone to fend for him or herself. When creating organic fear, you must find that personal issue that, if you were to face a life and death situation, you would regret not living to see, do, or resolve. To establish your specific personal issue in creating fear, make a list of all the regret possibilities. The list should include any and all issues that, if you were to die today, you'd never be able to accomplish, resolve, or take care of. List at least 10 to 15 ideas. Don't stop at 5. The issues that emerge after number 5 are often the most affecting, because they stem from your subconscious, the material that is deepest, darkest, and that you don't necessarily want to admit to yourself. Logically, the issues we hide even from ourselves are always going to be more deeply felt. The following is an example of a fear list, which you'd handwrite on lined paper. Fear list. Think, if I die today, I'll never have a child. Or, if you do have a child, I'll never be able to watch my child grow up and they'll never know me as their mother or father. I'll never find true love. I'll never know what it feels like to be truly loved. I'll never be married. I'll never know if my mother, father, ever really loved me. I'll never make my father, mother, child, sibling, mate, proud of me. My mate, parent, sibling, friend, etc., will believe I died a loser. I won't be there to take care of my financially bereft, or ailing, mother or father, sibling, mate, child, etc., who was always there for me. I'll never resolve or have closure in my relationship with my father, mother, child, sibling, mate, ex-mate, best friend, etc. I'll never hear the words I love you from my father, mother, sibling, child, mate, etc. I'll never be able to say, I love you and I'll miss you to my mother, father, sibling, mate, ex-mate, friend, child, etc. I'll never hear the words I'm sorry from my father, mother, mate, ex-mate, sibling, friend, uncle, etc., for their abuse, molestation, abandonment, cheating, etc. I'll never prove to my child, father, mother, mate, etc. I could be successful. I'll never know my real mother, father, if adopted or abandoned. Before you can do the fear formula for performance, you have to first determine which regret issue from your fear list would affect you the most. You must pinpoint precisely the regret issue from your fear list before your actual performance. This will enable you, during your performance, to realize organic fear within a minute of using the fear formula. Finding which regret issue from your fear list will be the most effective. Once you're done with your list, read each one aloud, alone. You'll feel more available and less judged. There will be one particular regret on your fear list that will pull at you more emotionally than the others. If 2 or 3 seem to speak to you equally, then try the following exercise with each one and see which creates the most tangible fear response. After you've picked the one, or two or three, from your fear list that inspires the largest emotional reaction in you, close your eyes and picture what it would feel like to accomplish or fix the regret in the best possible way. Enjoy picturing your success. Then open your eyes and imagine your achievement, or resolution taken from you in an abrupt and tragic manner. Then say over and over again in your head, I have to survive to keep this from happening. I have to survive to keep this from happening. You repeat a survival mantra, because it's the need to survive that actually creates fear, not the fearful situation itself. Applying the fear list. Using regret issue number 1. If I die today, I'll never have a child, which, by the way, is frequently a highly effective regret issue, because procreation is such a strong, primal need. If you're a woman, picture a baby that looks just as you did when you were an infant and imagine baby you floating in your womb. If you're a man, picture holding a baby that looks just as you did when you were an infant and see it in your mind's eye placed gently in your arms. The reason you see the baby as yourself as a child is because a parent sees his offspring as a little version of themselves, a second chance, if you will, at fixing the woes and devastations that happened in the parent's childhood. That's why pride and letdowns are so intensified with regard to your own child, because basically it's just little you having to deal, yet again, with life's trials and tribulations. Look into your baby's eyes and see your baby's unconditional love, the kind of love you've never received before, and feel it wash all over you. Then look down at your baby and silently speak to your child, vowing to protect and love and keep all the bad things that have happened to you from happening to your baby. Be specific in remembering your personal traumatic events and your personal insecurities that you're going to shield your baby from. This should take only a few moments. Now, see the baby look at you with unconditional love, thanking you for protecting him, or her, from all the bad things that happened to you and allowing him, or her, to stay safe, hopeful and innocent. Feel the love wash over you again. Feel the baby pulled from your womb, or arms. Forever. Feel the profound emptiness, an emptiness that will never go away if you die. Then quickly open your eyes and realize that the last image is going to happen if you die today. Then say in your head, like a mantra, I have to survive to keep this from happening. I have to survive to keep this from happening. I have to survive to keep this from happening. Let it go and begin the scene. The fear should stay with you, driving you to survive. Let's look at another example so that you really get the idea. We'll use number 7 from the sample list. If I die today, I'll never make my father proud of me. Get comfortable. Relax. Close your eyes and picture a close-up of your father's face beaming with pride at your future accomplishments. The kind of look you've never seen from him, but have always hoped you would see one day. Take a few seconds to let the feeling of your father's pride wash over you, the feeling that, I've finally gotten what I've always wanted from him. Abruptly change the image to your father looking at your tombstone, shaking his head in disappointment, thinking what a loser and screw you were and how much you let him down. Watch him cry, because you were such a failure and a mistake. Let that feeling make you sick. Quickly open your eyes and realize that the last image is going to happen if you die today, and say in your head, like a mantra, I have to survive to keep this from happening. I have to survive to keep this from happening. I have to survive to keep this from happening. Let it go and begin the scene. The fear should stay with you, driving you to survive. After you've figured out your most effective regret issue from your fear list, you can go ahead and use the formula for creating fear. Formula for creating organic fear. Take the regret issue that you've previously chosen from your fear list and see the upside of what you want to accomplish, resolve or take care of happening in the most wonderful and vivid way. Exactly the way you'd always wanted and imagined it would be. Thoroughly enjoy it. Then imagine the worst that can happen if you were to die today, without having a chance to fulfill your need. Picture it in all of its horrible details. Let the image fill you with anxiety. Then, with great angst, Acknowledge that the worst image is definitely going to happen if you die today, and internally do the survival mantra. I have to survive to keep this from happening. I have to survive to keep this from happening. I have to survive to keep this from happening. Let it go and let the fear happen organically. This whole process should take only a minute, which will allow you to be in fear mode quickly when the director says, action. Or when the curtain goes up. Remember, always do the fear list as part of the homework you do before you arrive on set or stage. So you'll know in advance which regret issue will be the most effective. It takes time to make the list and figure out which one will work best for you. In this way, when it's time to shoot or make your entrance on stage, it will take less than a minute to take the choice you've already made from your list and do the fear exercise. It's also important to note that just because the choices you make to create fear work for you today, it doesn't mean that they're going to work forever. Priorities change, needs change and circumstances change as your life progresses, and so will the issue that will be most crucial to motivate a need to survive. For every new script you analyze in which a need for fear comes into play, do an entirely new list and rework it as if you're doing it for the first time. Place-motivated fear. If the fear is more place-motivated, such as in a haunted house, or in a scene in which some unknown entity is chasing you, there's another technique available to you. Formula for place-motivated fear. Figure out which vermin or creatures give you the creeps. Spiders, rats, roaches, snakes, worms, maggots, pit bulls, possums, etc. In the space in which you're acting, imagine that every dark corner, space, light fixture, and drawer is grotesquely swarming with whatever vermin you've selected. Now think, if I can't escape, I will be covered by them, in my hair, filling my mouth, up my nose, up my sleeves and pant legs. Let it viscerally get to you by imagining the creatures of choice, in masses, biting, sliming and crawling all over you. Let it go.